I've been to California, never been to LA.
Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Vidi. For those of you who are new here, we're starting off this reading vlog in my car. Actually, technically no, we already started my reading vlog, but I just wanted to quickly do an intro. So this week I'm going to be reading the first few books of my June TBR. Right now, as you all saw in the earlier clips, I am currently reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and it is the cutest thing so far. Oh my god, I am literally just in chapter 6 and I am loving this book already. Yeah, we're going to go do some reading. I'm gonna go to a cute little coffee shop downtown. I've never been to this coffee shop, but before I read, I'm going to do some editing. So I just need to get that stuff done and then I'll go ahead and read a little bit if I have time, but that's the plan. So yeah, let's go.
I'm avoiding the pill I can't swallow. Seen my twin brother, I keep missing his calls. It's funny just how easily a family can drift apart. I'm finally getting married to an angel in human form, but I still think about Nashville with staying.
So I don't think I mentioned what I was doing in this week's reading vlog, but basically I realized that I have almost all romance books for June's TBR. So this vlog is just going to be dedicated to romance books, and it's going to be all of that summer lovin' kind of vibes because they're all kind of very much summery books. I think this one's the only one that's not explicitly in the summer. As some of you may know, Abby Jimenez is slowly starting to become one of my favorite, if not my favorite author, and I've only read 2 books of her so far. This is the 3rd book I've picked up, and she's just so good. I don't know, something about her writing is just such feel-good kind of stories. It's very comforting while still having a bit of a plot to it. It's just really, really cute. So this is the 2nd book to the Part of Your World series. This is actually about Alexis's best friend, Brianna. The story basically just follows Brianna, who just finalized her divorce and is also taking care of her sick brother who needs a kidney donation. He's living on dialysis, so they're looking for a donor for him. So she's just having kind of like a hard time just living through life, living through the motions of life. So then Jacob, who is the main love interest of the book, recently just started working in the same hospital that Brianna works in, and he actually ended up transferring hospitals because he wanted to get away from his ex-girlfriend, who is actually marrying Jacob's brother. So he kind of just needed to separate himself from that whole situation and started a new job at this new hospital where Brianna is in. And he actually has social anxiety. It is a little bit extreme where it starts to affect his daily life. Working in this new hospital is so new. He doesn't know the people and he's constantly overthinking things. It's just upsetting the nurses around and the staff, which is not his intention. He just doesn't know how to interact with them. The way that Jacob and Brianna meet is just in a stressful situation, and Jacob then ends up pissing off Brianna. Jacob ends up writing a letter to Brianna to apologize because that's the only way he can interact with her without messing up even more. And it just kind of starts following a story between Brianna and Jacob. They start writing letters to each other, which is how they start interacting with each other and learning more about each other. And eventually the book takes a turn to a whole fake dating kind of trope, and it's just been really, really good. Jacob is such a sweet character. I feel like his anxiety could be relatable because of how he overthinks and stuff like that too. These characters have so much depth to them, and it's just been such a sweet book so far. I am, like I said, about almost halfway through the book, and I am loving every second of it. I don't know, I'm just really enjoying this book. It is super cute. I'm really loving it. It's really good. A really good romance so far. We finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. The queen did it again. This was such a beautiful read. Like I said, I do have a bone to pick with the protagonist a lot of the times, but as I was reflecting, I realized that it's probably because every time our main character is about to decide to be in a relationship and she gets scared, it's something that I feel like I probably it's something that I went through when I got into a relationship. So I think that maybe I'm just projecting my feelings onto these characters because I also can like feel for them, and I get frustrated with them because probably got frustrated with myself. I don't know, some self-reflection there. I don't even know if that makes sense. But this was absolutely beautiful. I loved every second of it. I would have finished it much faster if I read a little bit more over the weekend, but it was an amazing story. She just captured my heart like she always does. It was such a good read. I'm kind of sad because this is the last book in that series right now that is out. I don't know if she's gonna come out with another one, but she has at least 3 other books. So I have at least 3 other books I can read of hers. The men in her story are just so wholesome, golden retriever kind of guys. They're just perfect. And that's another thing. I feel like Abby Jimenez writes a lot about trauma and mental health issues, which I feel like is really good. I do think that sometimes she could expand a little bit more on the trauma healing at the end, but I also understand how that could be boring at times. But that can be really depending on your own opinion if it feels too rushed or not. I thought it was super cute. I really liked it. Out of the 3 that I've read so far, I think this is going to be my top one. Yours truly. This is going to be a 5 out of 5 for me. In conclusion, I'm rating this a 5 out of 5, but Abby Jimenez, I'm telling you, a happily ever after kind of situation, a little bit more of a plot, not that much spice. It's very like normal for what you usually get for an adult romance book. Beautiful story. I would recommend it. What a perfect way to start the month. Now I gotta go pick something else. I don't usually show you all what my bookshelves look like, but this is what it's looking like right now. It's not that cute, but this is my TBR list of the month. Since we said we're reading romance books, I kind of want to read The Paradise Problem just because, y'all, it's raining today. It's raining outside. I'm not getting any summer vibes. Also, The Paradise Problem is what I'm reading for the book club I'm in, so I think I'm just going to read this so then I can be caught up on the book club, so when they transition to the summer will be different. I can do that. Let's go read this. Okay, I'm back with another riveting unsolicited book review. So we'll start off with The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Still completely shocked that this is 2 people and not 1 person. I really did not know that this was 2 people writing under a pen name. I don't remember if I gave a quick summary about it, but just really quick, for The Paradise Problem, this book is about Anna, our main character, and West, also known as Liam, because that's his name, enter a marriage of convenience basically, because West needs housing, and the only housing that was offered to him was family student housing for his university, and the only way for him to get that family student housing is if he is at least married. He ends up marrying Anna, who needs housing too, needs affordable housing to be able to continue going to school there. The book actually starts off around the time that they're actually moving out of the student family housing because they are done with school. And then it jumps forward to 3 years later, where Wes ends up getting in contact with Anna because he needs her to once again be his fake wife. And this is a fake dating slash marriage of convenience kind of trope going on. And so Wes ends up needing Anna's help because when he married Anna, it kickstarted his inheritance. There is a stipulation that if the marriage is fraudulent, then that the inheritance is going to be revoked. He has a very strained relationship with his family, and his family has been trying to get him and Anna to these family events, but they're also starting to get a little bit suspicious about whether or not Anna is actually his wife. So for his sister's wedding, he decides,
I am going to go to this family event for my sister because I love her.
Wes offers Anna money to be his fake wife for the week so they can go to Thailand for this wedding. It was a very cute, fun, rom-com kind of book. It was a very vacation-y kind of book. I feel like the banter was really good. The chemistry between Anna and Wes was great. It was a little spicy but not smutty. It was a pretty good book. I actually really enjoyed it myself. My only critique about it is that because it does happen in the span of a week, the book does feel rushed, especially at the ending, at the very end. It is really, really rushed. I feel like the overall conflict had a lot of legalities to it that were kind of just brushed under the rug, and we're just like,
yeah, we made it happily ever after.
And I'm just like, that could have needed a little bit more detail, a little bit more of a breakthrough moment. And then the epilogue itself ends up kind of time jumping a little bit because, like I said, the ending itself has a lot of legality going on into it. It's a lot more complex than what the book, I guess, anticipated it to be. The loose ends are tied very loosely, in my opinion. But because of that, I am going to have to rate it a 3.5 out of 5. It was going to be a 4 out of 5. A very cute, fun, vacation-y book. But again, very rushed ending in my opinion. This is my third Emily Henry book. I am in the hunt to try to find an Emily Henry book that kind of blows me away because this author is just so praised, and I think I might have found it. Beach Read by Emily Henry is about our main character January, who is a romance slash women's literature writer. She's just kind of like this bubbly, kind of happy, love goggle, glasses on, always like kind of personality. However, at the moment that we meet January, she's kind of down in the slumps because her father had recently passed away and left her with this beach house, which ends up being the house of her father and his mistress, something that she did not know about until the funeral. So apparently her dad had an affair with this lady and had a whole house, left this house to January. But January didn't know any of this until the mistress showed up to the funeral. The mom knew about it, but January didn't. There's this kind of turmoil in her head going on where like she's grieving her father and their life, but at the same time feels like it's a big lie and can't get any answers because her father's dead and her mom won't talk to her about it. So she's just kind of has lost a lot of faith in the world because of it and is not able to write anymore. It is in a very huge writing slump. So she goes to Michigan where this beach house is at to try to empty it out and sell it. In the meantime, is also trying to get back into writing because she just hasn't written anything and she had promised a book. Enter Augustus, or Gus, who is supposed to be the polar opposite of January, who has this very morbid view of the world, is very cynical, writes the complete opposite of what January writes, and turns out to be January's rival from college. So this is supposed to be a rivals to lovers kind of book. So Augustus and January are neighbors. So then Augustus and January end up making a bet to be able to kind of get out of this writing slump that January is in, and it feels like Augustus might also be in. And yeah, it just kind of like it's a story about Augustus and January and how their rivalry to lovers relationship developed. And normally my thing about Emily Henry books is that I get bored usually around like the middle to end of it. I don't know what it is about it, but I usually do. But with this one, I was never bored. And I think because even though her other books do have more than just a romance into it, this one felt a lot more complex because there was that whole family drama. There was that like grief of her father and her being just confused of not knowing how to feel because of this big lie that no one told her about, that like everyone kept her in the dark about. And you kind of just want to know what happens. You want to know why the father did what they did, because that's what January wants to know. You want to know more about that story and everything that he has to say and stuff like that. Emily Henry, I'll give her credit where it's due. She writes really good banter, and these two characters had great chemistry. I really liked it. Overall, I thought this was a really, really good book. I was thinking of giving it a 4.5 out of 5, but I honestly didn't have any real critiques about it to give it a 4.5 out of 5. So I'm actually going to give it a 5 out of 5. Like I said, not necessarily my favorite book of the year, but it was a good read. I read almost the entirety of it in the airport and in the plane. I couldn't put it down. It kept me thoroughly entertained, and it was just really good. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. All good vibes, all summer vibes, very good story. Really enjoyed this book. But yeah, so that's all I basically read. I did read 3 books for this reading vlog, so that was pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to make a reading vlog after this again. It might just be a regular vlog with a little bit of reading in it, but not necessarily a reading vlog. So I'm still trying to figure out how my videos are going to turn out, but we'll see. If y'all have any ideas, please let me know. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!